evening and welcome to Corporate News. I'm here with Mordecai, who's mildly uncomfortable.
I'm fine.
Sorry.
Just fine.
We are here to recap the episode, the week's events. I will be giving the rundown of the week in the corporate wars, and Mordecai here, will be recounting the events of his shadowrunning team last week. Would you care to start off?
Sure. So, it was pretty eventful. We were on a mission to try to obtain evidence of Shiawase performing experiments on metahumans, particularly elves. Mainframe 3 had gone in undercover, and we went in after her. The plan was for Elsie to try to wake her up once she was in there so that we could get the evidence. However, things could have gone better, I suppose. We encountered some problems, encountered some resistance, and we wound up getting into some combat with some guards and some spirits. And we did manage to get a bunch of people out, including Mainframe 3. However, as far as we are aware, HTR, which is the High Threat Response Team, is probably on its way. And we're definitely not in the clear yet because we haven't really collected the evidence that we need in order for our employer, Evo, to have the necessary PR campaign that they want against Shiawase. So we're going to see how that goes.
Sounds like a very, very hairy situation that you were in.
That's probably a good way to describe it, yeah.
So you've succeeded in extracting Mainframe, though, right?
We did. We extracted Mainframe, and I believe we extracted about 7 other people as well who were being held there. Some of them were more willing than others to go, but we did our job. We held up our end of the bargain.
So hopefully you get paid. You do the job, you get paid. That's the hope, right?
That's our motto. You do the job, you get paid. I don't actually know if that's our motto. I haven't cleared that with the rest of the group yet.
But a team's got to have a motto, right? I mean, Shadowrunners, you have to have a creed or some sort of code to live by, maybe.
I mean, yeah, we each have kind of our own code to live by, but I don't know if we have a group one or not. God, now I'm worried about that.
Well, perhaps the next time you've got a slumber party, you could bring it up.
I mean, whatever keeps the topic off of what animal we think we are or anything like that, I guess is good as far as I'm concerned.
Probably for the best, yes.
Yeah.
Now, I believe you had a statement that you wanted to read while you were on the...
It's all very confusing. This is from Sharky. I don't...
And Sharky is your...
Well, he is my mentor spirit. He has been my guide for many years, since long before I became a Shadowrunner. He guided me through my awakening, I guess is what you would call it, and my first discovery of my magical powers, and he's always been there for me. He's been really great. He's been busy lately. He seems to have a lot going on that I don't quite understand, including this letter of his. Shall I read it?
Absolutely. And I will, just before you do that, I will say after that, I think we might have a few moments for some questions. So feel free to prep those while Mordecai reads this letter from Sharky.
This is from the desk of Sharky. It says, for immediate release, the benevolent Sharky, astral denizen of the metaplanes, wishes to acknowledge the following corporeal metahumans who donated Edge to his chosen group of Shadowrunners, I think that's us, on last Wednesday's episode of Shadowrun Corporate Sins. And the donors are Defendor with $25 and the message, always Lauren Legion, except for now. Some edge for hashtag Elsie from hashtag Evo, because shiny and we care. Dominius69 with $25. One edge for hashtag Sharky. To be clear, Sharky can't actually use his own edge, but I can use my edge on his behalf.
Also helpful, still.
Zophyr with what I believe is a 0 in it. $25. One edge for Elsie, hashtag Mitsuhama. Tempest D with $25. Mainframe 3 is going to need a little edge when she wakes up. Very considerate. Nalterus with $25. A boy can be 2, 3, 4 potential people, but a man is only one. He murders the others. Mordecai Rickler, edge for Mordecai. By hashtag Evo, the corp that cares. That touches me personally, although I didn't understand it. Evo Corp with $25. One edge for Elsie, hashtag Evo, the corp that cares. William TW with $25. One edge for LOL Cat Fang, because I'm a fan, hashtag Neonet. Aranax06 with $50. One edge for Cromwell plus one edge for Elsie. Hashtag Evo. Hashtag save Mainframe 3. He also wishes to acknowledge those who paid tribute to the great spirit of the sixth world, whose mysterious and divine power even the mighty Sharky cannot seem to assay. And these donors are Aulicus with $25 and the message, hashtag Wuxing gives, hashtag Lauren Legion in edge. Sorry, Elsie, you are my favoritist, but Lauren sounded in pain there. Don't hate us. Arislin with $50. Two edge for Lauren. Note to our dear GM, hashtag Shiawase doesn't want Mfek dead or permanently injured, as we might want to hire them later. So considerate. Just kick them out of our facilities, pretty please. Again, William TW with another $25. And one edge for Lauren, because hashtag Neonet doesn't take sides here. And Remen with $100. Hashtag DFA Fast Mechanics and 4 times edge for Lauren. Hashtag Shiawase wishes everyone the best and hopes the runners reconsider their options. The letter concludes, decreed thusly, Sharky. And it has his fin print on it, which was very difficult for me to get, so.
And a very, very nice letterhead, I might add.
Yes, he's grown pompous as of late. I don't think he'll mind me saying that.
You hope, at least.
Well, I'm counting on him to not mind me saying that.
Well, you did just go through the effort of coming on a news show to proclaim this on his behalf. So I think hopefully you've got a little karma with him, as it were.
Hopefully so. I scratch his back and he flippers mine, so it's all good.
It's a good exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw somebody asked, did Sharky dictate that to you, or type it himself with the flippers?
Sharky lacks the mechanical skills to type. He had me go digging through several scrap heaps for an old-fashioned typewriter so that he could dictate it to me. He asks me to do some weird things sometimes. I don't always understand them.
Excellent, excellent. So does anybody in chat have any questions for our wonderful MFEC member tonight? We're getting a whole lot of tribute to Sharky emotes, which is great. We've been seeing that a lot lately. Whom should we list as next of kin? Is an interesting question.
That's a fairly personal and private question.
Feel free to not answer any questions you are not comfortable with.
I don't really like to talk about family.
Bit of an uncomfortable subject. Understood.
If it helps, I don't actually have anything of value that it would matter anyway.
Let's see. Best ice cream flavor. Do you have a favorite ice cream? I myself can't have it.
I don't actually believe in ice cream. Ice cream is sweet dessert, and I only believe in savory foods as a dwarf.
Interesting. Did you know that 90% of elves are lactose intolerant?
I did not know that.
It's true. It's true.
Well, it's nice to know that we're able to build some bridges here today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How did Sharky make his donation during Paranoia on Thursday if he can't type? Well, obviously I'm assuming he dictated it to Mordecai.
I didn't even exactly understand what was going on. He told me what buttons to press, and I did. And it seemed to be a positive result. But Sharky, I've learned, works in mysterious ways, and increasingly mysterious as of late.
Interesting. So who is your favorite Muppet?
Oscar the Grouch. And I don't think that requires any explanation.
Probably not. Probably not. And one last question was, if Sharky had a spirit animal of his own, would it be a smaller shark?
Well, Sharky is already a smaller shark. He is a dwarf shark, which is why I think he was attracted to me in the first place. I'm not sure, but I think he considers me to be his spirit animal.
That's an interesting way of looking at the relationship. Very wonderful. Thank you very, very much for sharing these stories with us on Corporate News. I appreciate it.
I'm happy to be of help. Again, if anyone out there has any work you need done, you can reach me through my fixer, and that would be great. I could use the work.
Excellent. Thank you, and thank you for helping save some of my fellow elf kind out there.
My pleasure. Anything for fellow metahumans.
Excellent.
Not anything,
And
but some things.
And good luck on the rest of your run.
Thank you very much. All right, I can go now?
You can go, yes. Thank you very, very much. All right. So now we continue with the fascinating meta game Corporate Wars here on Corporate News. Let me just pull up the final AP calculations. Here we go. I forgot to announce these last week, and I do apologize for that. I do think that it is important to have on air what the action point totals are. Once again, Shiawase is in front with 23 action points for the week. 23 AP once again. Evo follows behind with 13 action points. As Technology, Seder Krupp, and Wuxing each have 10. Renraku has 9 action points, while Ares and Mitsuhama each have 7. Horizon and Neonet trail behind with 6 apiece. So those are the action point totals for this week. I do also want to take a moment to say that the purchasables, the market share purchasables, while not currently accurate on the website, I have let each of the corporate heads know that the costs for each of those have been dramatically reduced. They have been struck half off across the board. This is in the interim while I'm being told that they have been updated, and it does appear to be the case. So I'm checking to make sure that they are all accurate as of now. There was one in particular I wanted to make sure of. Excellent. Looks about right to me. So Thank you, Alien Knitter, for updating those. Stray Logic website is accurate now. We did strike the prices in half, 50% across the board. We do intend to do further refining on that. However, with Zach being in LA for the week and the R-Loop fundraiser the end of last week, we just have been a little bit busy around here, so we haven't had time to fine-tune them, but we knew that we wanted to do at least that right off the bat, at least reduce them by about 50% across the board, so that's what we did. But I want to make it clear, we will be refining further. We will absolutely be refining that further. So, that is action points, that is purchasables. Now, I would like to give you the news. I have a number of press releases here from the various corporations, starting with Ares Macro Technology. General Dynamics, an Ares Macro Technology subsidiary, began work on a new military vehicle last week. They unveiled their prototype to the press, and the onlookers were shocked. The vehicle looked like a giant wooden rabbit. General Dynamics was quoted as saying, "Once the French accept the rabbit into their building, we leap out at night, not only catching them by surprise, but completely unaware." More as this develops. Last week, there was a press release released by Seder Krupp. We were sent a press release by Seder Krupp stating, "Last week, we here at Seder Krupp broke ground on our new Matrix division, Aetherlink. Great Dragon Lofvir welcomes all denizens of the Sixth World to visit our online Matrix presence at http://skcorp.de." And that, hopefully someone from that corporation can put that code into chat. Here you can find out more information on our current product catalog, subsidiary divisions, informational videos, and soon corporate executive profiles. Our division in Matrix Services is also now taking orders from other corporations to provide advertising of their own online presences as well. For pricing, please contact their Senior Vice President of Communications, Negi Hama. So what that is there, to give a little bit of background knowledge, Seder Krupp has purchased the rights for the next 4 weeks to place their corporate URL into our chat room. So expect to be seeing that skcorp.de popping up fairly frequently. More on that later. In this past week, Evo Corporation also successfully performed research in both their aerospace and medicine divisions. And I have a release from Horizon as well. Horizon stated that on the first day of the SimSense show, S3, the largest international convention on SimSense technology, Horizon Group announced a product it hopes will allow those with SimSense Vertigo to experience the technology for the first time. The device, called the Jaw Collar Vertigo Inhibition Module, or the JCVIM for short, provides neck-mounted stability to provide the SimSense viewer a stronger frame of reference. We sat down with Horizon's spokesperson Josephine McAdam to talk more about it. In early testing, the JCVIM has reduced SimSense Vertigo in about 70% of users who reported previously experiencing vertigo. Said McAdam, "We're ecstatic about the opportunity to offer S3 attendees the chance to experience it firsthand here at our booth and see for themselves." Horizon has had a slew of celebrities lined up to try the contraption, including Ross Rose, Kitty Franklin, and Anna Peterson, who just finished filming the action rom-com Hacked Brides in Seattle. We can't wait to see them all and get their reactions. Additionally, Mitsuhama seems to have stalled in their aerospace research. The results of that remain inconclusive on whether or not they'll have to delay plans that were announced last week for their new shuttle to ferry goods to the space station. Shiawase Corp, however, is pleased to announce that both Shiawase Vector, a Shiawase biotech division, and Kanshisha Consulting, their newly formed law enforcement division, have reported significant growth in their respective markets. This growth was made possible through a joint venture encompassing the expansion of local law enforcement forces with a special unit outfitted with the latest in security gear implants. Devised by Shiawase Vector, the SEC4 1.0 ocular implant allows law enforcement personnel a faster response time and upgraded reaction times during any possible encounter. Successful implementation during a raid on the Seattle-based Margaret Bridge Child Health Hospital allowed local security and police forces to contain the threat and keep our young patients within the facility safe from harm. With the rollout to law enforcement agencies throughout the world, Shiawase has made great strides toward the future within both biotech and law enforcement markets. Shiawase advancing life. Wuxing finally has improved their financial research. This all happened in the last week of corporate wars. Now I can open the floor a bit to Q&A. I do also want to take a couple of moments to let everyone know we are continually building on the system that we've implemented here. We are working to put together a more complex offering of things that you can do. We want to build actual role-playing elements into this game. That is something that I have been hard at work at for the last week. I had hoped to roll out a piece of that tonight with the lottery. I'm not 100% sure, but for those of you that are thinking about entering the lottery, even if you don't manage to hire MFEC, you may see benefits to entering the lottery tonight. I'm working hard on getting approval for that, so I can't really say much more right now, but definitely consider entering the lottery for the Shadowrunners tonight. There may be benefits even if you do not win the lottery itself. So apologies for being cryptic on that. I want the official okay before I push forward on that. That said, if you were planning on entering the lottery anyway, I'll let you know. Let me see. I'm scrolling through chat really quick. If there are any questions about the corporate metagame or anything along those lines, please do let me know. Pop those into chat. How do you enter the lottery is a valid question. You talk to your corporate heads. You have to be a subscriber and on our Discord and join a corporation in order to do that. Entering the lottery is something that your entire corporation does using their action points. Action points, of course, are the units of how much you are able to do on any given week in the corporate metagame. And apologies, tightening up the microphone arm. How does one join Corporate Wars? Well, like I just said, you subscribe to the channel, you join our Discord server through that subscription, and you talk to the moderators about which corp might be right for you. You select a corporation based on perhaps on their portfolio on what market subsidiaries they're involved in that you might want to be involved in. That is available on the Stray Logic site that hopefully the mods will get into chat for you. I do suggest, I've been asked a couple of times who should join, or what corp you should join, I should say. And my advice is always to join one of the ones that is not in first and not in second or third or fourth, but join one of the underdogs, join one of the teams that is maybe struggling a little bit and see what you can do. Because not only am I a fan of rooting for the underdog, but you are more apt to have a stronger say in those sorts of environments and really get a feel for what you can do in the game that we are building for you. Real quick overview of what the corporate wars are. They are the metagame that we have built around the Shadowrun Corporate Sins RPG show that follows this very news program. And it is one of our ways that we want to try to reward you all for, or say thank you for your contributions, for being dedicated viewers, for being subscribers, and for your gratuities. It's one of the ways that we want to give back, is giving you this enjoyable experience to go along with this enjoyable experience. So it's a metagame wrapped around the Shadowrun role-playing game where you can join a corporation, and that corporation can take different actions week to week that will have an influence on the story being told as it unfolds in Shadowrun Corporate Sins, as well as telling its own story and building off of that, fleshing out the world of Shadowrun, or at least illustrating what has already been fleshed out. So it's a really interesting thing that nobody else on Twitch is doing, and certainly nobody is doing it as well. So it is the first of its kind. The game is something entirely new. So that being said, that does mean that it is imperfect. We are constantly working to build it up and to improve it, and we are constantly receiving your feedback. Hence why the purchasables have all had their prices chopped right in half, and then we will continue to refine that as well. So, that being said, we are getting close to Shadowrun Corporate Sins being ready to go live. I am just waiting for the signal from Joe or one of our other staff members to let me know to wrap it up. But in the meantime, if anybody has any questions that are not Labyrinth related, I would be happy to field those. Which corp has the best drone technology? I'm honestly not sure, but hopefully one of our moderators can answer that one for you. Perfect Silk, you should absolutely join one of our corps. Silk1313 says, I work for a real corp. I bet that'll help a ton. I know all about corp backstabby plotting. That is something that we have not had nearly enough of in this game. There has not been nearly enough corporate backstabby plotting, and we could use more of that. So I would encourage you to subscribe and join, and take part in corporate backstabbiness. What is the best date time to get our press releases to you? Before 5 p.m. Pacific time, because that is when I actually start moving in here and prepping for this show. So, before 5 o'clock, and the press releases should be for actions that were taken the week before. So not the actions that you are all taking right now, but the actions that you took last week that were successful, or even that failed. You can do a press release on actions that failed. It just can't be a positive PR spin, or I will rewrite it for you. But I need at least a little bit of time to put things into order. So that's why I say get those press releases to me by 5 p.m. the day of Shadowrun Corporate Sins of the week following the actions when they were taken, etc. If we buy the comms takeover perk, can we choose it to be Little Apple for the whole day? Possibly, Pete. Although if you put it on loop, I can pretty much guarantee you that at a certain point, Zach or myself or Joe, possibly, or Emily, will get sick of the song and turn it off. Or at least turn it off to our internal speakers. So there you go. I don't see why not, but it may not work out quite the way you intended, much like things do in Shadowrun. They don't always go quite as you had intended. Berserk Chimera says, maybe the plotting is happening and just hasn't been rolled out yet. Well, I would say that I'll believe it when I see it. But I am also getting the sign that I can wrap things up now and get you all to the main event of the evening, and that is Shadowrun Corporate Sins. Enjoy as they wrap up this final bit of this run tonight, and then remember that the lottery is open tonight. It is open tonight, so you should try and get in on that. Be the next person to hire the runners. And thank you all very much for joining me. Enjoy Shadowrun Corporate Sins.